How is it going, guys? My name is Onesie Burnett, and welcome back to Katawa Shojou. Now, I didn't think I'd be doing any more episodes of this, but the comments in my last episode in the finale seemed to be very supportive in favour of going for another route. So, I've decided to do a little bit of a test episode here, just to see how this goes. I have no idea what I'm actually going to be doing in terms of how I managed to get to another route. But I have a fun little exercise. I'm pretty much just going to be going through every choice I've made in the game. I'm going to turn skip mode off, by the way, because it was on skip mode. But I'm going to go through every choice in the game, and if it's a 2 choice, I'm going to pick the one I didn't pick before and see what happens. So, let's see what the opposite of Emmy is. So, yeah, we got to the point where he's asking us if we want to introduce ourselves, and we ask why. So, yeah, let's just get back into this. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to have to sort out my equipment. I probably should have done that off screen, but hey ho. Why? Do I have to? Of course not. That's why I asked. Right. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The 3rd floor down the 3rd floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 33. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. I'm going to skip a couple of things until we get to any new dialogue. La 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 la. I like it's funny how like everyone is in the same class apart from Emmy. And Kenji. Is Kenji in the class? I didn't see him last time. I'm genuinely curious. There's Hanako at the back. There's Shizune Misha. Don't know if Kenji's there. I don't think no, he's not there. But that guy at the back seriously worries me. Not because he's fat, but because he looks like he's having a heart attack. I feel horrible for doing that, but it's true. He literally looks like he's dying. Dum-dum-dum. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the front row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. After the applause, there's a brief silence, and nobody seems to want to be responsible for breaking. The teacher soon realises that he should probably say something. He opens up with some unintelligible noise, shuts up as he loses his momentum, and then starts introducing me. Nobody seems to be too interested. Maybe I should have said yes to the self-introduction thing. Probably realising he doesn't know anything about me, he just ends up saying my name wrong again, and asking me to write it on the blackboard. I do that and turn back to face the class, feeling awkward. I listen as the teacher drones on about getting along with... that was awful. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yep, there we are. Let's just skip through. Okay, so now we're at the cafeteria when we're having lunch with Shizune and Misha, and they asked if there's anything I wanted to ask. So, I asked about the library last time, which led me to ending up going... Well, to be fair, I don't think it made much of a difference, but I think I kind of want to ask about Shizune's deafness this time. I mean, but then again, if I do that, I'm not sure if I want to get onto Shizune's route, so... I don't know. No, I'm gonna turn away. Oh no. 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 Okay, I have an idea. I'm gonna go and ask about the library again. Because obviously that's... I know whose route I want to get onto. So, ask about the library again. So, yeah, let's just see what happens from here. Right, we made a mistake last time here. We have to attack aggressively. Let's do it. She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose though, so I might as well try something different. Maybe if I spread out my forces and try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. Shizune seems to be focusing on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I'll end up losing the game anyway. God damn it! I thought maybe I'd win the game or risk this time. Damn it! It's a trap! Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. I win! Yay! There's no need to translate that, it was pretty clear. Wahaha, don't look too sad, Hichan. You were really giving it your best. That's what I thought.
Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. ... Yi-chan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Shi-chan is very impressed. The mark of great people is that they are daring, and that they can follow through. Yes, me! They can follow through. That's dirty. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Yi-chan? ... That isn't enough, though. Just potential isn't enough. There's no point to potential if you don't take the first step, and there is no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Shi-chan, but that's so demanding. ... Shizune leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I expected her to be from the start. ... Hi-chan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? It's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. Do I want to join the student council this time? I don't know. But spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. ... Okay, Hi-chan, but I hope you're just not saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? Hi-chan, if you're going to say that, you're saying that it's definitely the truth, and there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have my revenge for losing at the very least. Shizune smiles at that in a mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realise I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library's open? There's a clock right there on the wall. ... It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library's open. It's on the second floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? Well, I'll meet you guys back again when we meet Lily. Care to take a seat? And here we are. Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. That and the slight cloudiness to her eyes means she just must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku? Ah yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Sato, pleased to meet you. Hizao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod and takes the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whatever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long dainty finger to measure out the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me and Lily. To me, and Lily and herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer and preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room are you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. That is true. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, I'm in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the teacup. There. On the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. And there we are, that's the picture I was waiting to see. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it would be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal.
I quite like Lily. I think I'm going to skip to the next choice though. So I'll meet you back when we have our next choice to make. I said I was going to meet you back when we had our next choice to make, but I just realised there's another little event I quite want to read again. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognise sitting on one of the several beanbags. It's the dark-haired girl from my class. The one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts, looking scaredly up from underneath her fringe. There we are. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face. At least a third, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. And the reason I wanted to read this bit again is because last time I was here, I ended up telling a little story about a girl I dated once, who had like a massive birthmark scar all over the right side of her face, and how it didn't really make much of a difference to me, and I just thought, obviously, it's quite a shock for people to see that sort of thing. It's not the sort of thing you expect to see on a person. You don't expect when you're speaking to someone that they're going to have like a massive scar, and it's obviously going to get in the way of things because it's obviously going to have attention drawn to it. So obviously her here hiding it with her fringe, I just thought it was quite interesting because the girl that I used to date never used to do that. She had really long hair, but she always made a point of like brushing it back and putting it in a ponytail so that she couldn't hide it, because she thought that if she hid it, it would be admitting that there's something different about her. And I feel like Hanako here, she doesn't need to brush it away. She doesn't need to hide who she is, because that's her. So, yeah. That's just my 2 cents on the situation. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I'm shocked, and divert my eyes to the book in her hands before I realise that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself and then remember what I walked up to her for. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to introduce myself and see what happens. I think I will. Yeah, I'm going to introduce myself because last time I decided I would be like, I'm sorry I didn't mean to start here. But I don't know, I want to see what happens if I do the opposite. Let's do that, yeah. Hi, I'm new here. Hisauna Kai. We're in the same class? ... I just transferred here the other day. Maybe you don't remember. ... The girl still doesn't say a word, but simply stares at me wide-eyed. I'm still getting used to the place, so I'm trying to meet as many people as I can. So, what's your name? Hanako. Her speech is stuttering and so quiet that it's barely audible, even in the still library. Somehow, I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako, eh? So, what are you reading? She gently tips the book backwards so that I can read the title, and at the same time, hiding her face behind it. She must have noticed me staring before. Life of Pi? I've never heard of it before. What's it about? A boy and a tiger. Ah, I saw that when it came out in cinemas. It was actually pretty good. It was like the tiger and the man were stuck on a boat, weren't they? And the tiger didn't eat the boy because the tiger thought that the boy was going to be the man's salvation and the human's salvation. So the tiger, for some reason, instinctively knew that the boy was going to save him. It's weird. It was a really weird concept, and I don't think that it's as deep-rooted as that. The tiger only thinks of immediate survival, not survival of the race of the humans or tigers or whatever. It just thinks, oh, food, eat it, nom! It's a strange scenario. Yeah, I was right! On a boat. I can see this taking some time. Sounds interesting. Is it any good? She nods from behind the book but stays silent. I honestly thought she'd have ran off by now and not actually tried to talk to him. I'm surprised at this turn of events. She looks kind of tense. A bit like Yuko earlier, but in a different way. More like petrified with fear, I'd say. So the mystery delinquent girl turned out to be anything but, and she's quivering in a way that makes it look like she's mortally afraid of me. The only way out of this, as far as I can tell, is to try and get a normal conversation going.
Is it a library book? I'm looking for new ones to read, but there's just so many. No, it's mine. Oh, so do you come here often? A huge blush spreads across Hanako's face, and her eyes widen larger than I thought was possible for eyes to do. Uh-oh. Did she interpret my lame attempt at small talk as a feeble attempt to pick her up? I mean, I didn't mean it like that. I've gotta go do something! I don't know why, but I love that. But anyway, I'm gonna skip from here to the next choice, so see you later. We got a bit of extra dialogue, so I thought I might as well read this too. Nothing. I just talked to her. Tried to get to know her. Didn't even manage to get started. Yuko sighs and looks awfully bothered, even more so than she did before. I guess you weren't wrong, so much as tactless. Tactless? That girl's a bit of a special case. It's like she never really talks to anyone. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder. It's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. Perhaps I was being a little tactless after all. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casual only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. Yep, I've read that bit, so let's keep going. Last time I said that Hanako was cute. I'm gonna keep going with that route. Yep, Hanako's cute. Oh. Okay, so we have another choice here with Hanako. Because she's named Misha, we're being quite... They were talking about her, and it's given me the option, go and talk with her, or go and read my book. And last time they said that I was being tactless by going up and introducing myself to her. I don't know. I really don't know. Fuck. I want to go and talk to her again, though. I said I was going to do the opposite of all of my choices, but I kind of want to go and talk with her again. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I still feel bad for making her run away yesterday, so I'd better say something. Hey there, Hanako. Is Al? Well, at least she remembers my name. Hey, I just wanted to apologize for yesterday. I didn't mean to startle you or anything. I'm just new here and thought I should get to know my classmates. As Hanako looks up at me, I notice her scarring once more. It's a little bewildering that you can actually notice it from across the room, but it's so noticeable from up close. That's okay. It was my fault. Nah, that wasn't anyone's fault. It just kind of happened. So were you waiting for someone? I saw you looking at the door before. Yes, Lily. Oh, you mean Lily the blind girl? Hanako only nods in response, and I can't help but wonder if defining people through their disabilities is a faux pas of the worst kind, or just normal here. I guess that's why... I guess that explains why Lily took off after her yesterday. Just so you know, this episode is going to be a bit longer today. I've just decided, normally I keep these around 20 minutes, but I want to see if I can get onto a route by the end of this episode. So it might be a bit longer, but it'll at least decide whose route we're getting onto. So I think we're going to skip a bit forward now, so see you later. It's you! This feels awkward. It seems normal. Hey, should I get a nurse? The worried high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. Emmy! No! Stay away! I don't want to get onto your route again, so I need to make sure that I don't have any kind of... anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with Emmy. I stare at her for a few seconds, until I realise that I probably look worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need. I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me. Big time, but it's nothing more than that. You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay. I said I was fine. Nothing's broken. No harm done. That's good. I was... And the other two show up. Right. Be back in a minute. I just wanted to see this bit again. I really did. Oh, God. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform with a fork between her toes and a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I somehow took her as part of the furnishing or a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today, as a whole.
I've got to say that because she uses her feet for everything, I think it's quite fair that they let her wear a boy's uniform. Because if she was wearing a girl's uniform and lifting her legs up all the time, she would literally be giving everyone panty shots. But I doubt she'd mind too much about that, because she's like, oh my god, I don't know what the fuck is your problem, but I don't understand. Why are you looking at my panties, you little pervert? I love doing her voice. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned in silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth, and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello? I was told to pick up some supplies from here. For the festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You are pretty observant. I guess it does, but who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. Izao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. You can't shake hands!
Not okay!
That's very nice.
Oh my god, I can't read any more of her. I'll be back at the next choice. Right. Now, last time I said yes to doing more, so I'm going to say maybe. Because honestly, I don't give a fuck! Maybe. No, I mean, he gives me a nasty sort of look when I say that, making me try to take back the word. I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to the school. I promise to try, though. You're not being very convincing there, Hazal. Tip number 1. Medical professionals are not amused if you take their advice lightly. What's up with him? As if a day or two would make that much of a difference. I didn't do anything at the hospital either. Yeah, okay, sorry. He studies me for a moment, then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Let's go meet Emmy! Or do we? Well, I suppose this way at least I can tell the nurse honestly that I'm doing something about my health. Not that I was ever much of a runner to begin with. Can't hurt to try, I guess. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not only that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-led girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. I'm going to make a little backstory to this. The reason that... If you guys have ever seen the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, you'll realise that there's one point where it's like the never-ending summer. And they, literally, it's like 8 episodes of the same episode shot differently with the exact same dialogue apart from one line in the middle. And that one line was halfway through when one of the characters, literally, all it was changing the number of days. It was something like, we've repeated the cycle 8,000 times and it's going to repeat. And then the next episode it will be, we've repeated the cycle 12 billion times. And it would just increase and increase until they finally managed to break out of it. But I'm going to say that this is the same. The reason he's going back in time and he's remembering is because he didn't do something right in his first run and he's trying to find the perfect girl and he can't quite find her yet. He hasn't managed to get with her. So he thinks he can remember. He can actually remember, and I feel like somewhere in his subconscious, he has the memories of Emmy there. He just can't bring them to the surface. Hence why on the start screen, he's like, you've got the pictures of Emmy there, but it's still a blank game. But on the start screen, it has the pictures of Emmy's chapters. So that's how this is going to run for me. That's how I'm going to see it. So we're starting to run. Frankly, I don't remember if there's any particular form for running, but I can't help feel like I'm doing it wrong somehow. I feel awkward in comparison to Emmy, who never seems to break stride. I don't think I want to do this anymore. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. ... Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanour.
finished already?
I hang my head ruefully. Heh, yeah. I'm not in very good shape right now. Abby nods and then grins at me. She seems to do a lot of smiling.
Well, the important thing's you started, right? Next time you just have to try and hold out a little longer, and then longer and longer, and eventually you'll be great.
I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm going to go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Amy shrugs unconcernedly.
Nah, I've got plenty of time.
I notice that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug.
Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao.
See ya. Yeah, we will, so fuck off! I remember you! Okay, I feel like this is about to get quite nasty.
There is still time to hand it in, isn't there? ... Today. The deadline is today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had my way, I'd have all of the necessary paperwork days ago, but someone had to say the deadline. Please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. ... Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school, and then some. The one who does that is me.
Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she really is getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left.
Please, Hisao, it's alright.
Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself.
If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I've forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. ... Then can I have it, please?
Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second.
It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class.
She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. ...
It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize in their behalf for getting sick. Okay.
Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and seems to have torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. ...
Lily, don't they live here at this school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of the entire class?
Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. ...
And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative, or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if they can't even handle. They should have your job if they can't even handle something this simple yourself.
What? I don't get that.
One form isn't the full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of.
Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, and she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. ...
Of course you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you.
Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of the sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Misha don't like each other, that much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. Da-dum. I always wanted to do this.
I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent.
Yes, mate! The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore. Though even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. ...
He-chan, don't you slack off either.
What are you talking about? ...
Aren't you taking part in the festival, He-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person.
Oh, that's weird. I don't understand why Shiznae's suddenly getting mad at me, but you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna side with Lily this time. Let's go side with Lily. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much even if I wanted.
That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into his first week.
Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. ...
Excuses, Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success.
Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shiznae, and that's exactly what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shiznae freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner.
Thank you, Hazao. I'll leave now then.
Oh! She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heels to make her exit. Oh! Beautiful! As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shiznae. I can feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shiznae's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. She needed to cool off! You fucked her up! Right. Next! Well, I said next, but it won't let me skip this, and this must be new text. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. This has got to be new! This doesn't seem like new text at all. I swear I've read this before. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I notice Shiznae and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shiznae's signing so fast that her hands make small noises, like swords cutting through the air. It's like some kind of taekwondo. Maybe there is pent-up anger in there. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it seems like serious business. Shiznae signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters. And then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished and the girl sits down on their seats again.
Wah! I'm so tired. Wah!
Wah! She's hanging her head limply on the desk, looking exhausted. I use the opportunity to reconcile with Shiznae a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Yep! Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shiznae scoffs at me at first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end, she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. ... She signs with heavy, harsh, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well it's almost like Shiznae is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously.
Well, of course, we're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. ... It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. ... We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. ... That's why there must be no flaws, no or I think that was encumbrances. No, nothing that might make this festival short of perfect. Shiznei's passionate speech and Misha's acting are really oddly fitting of them. Oh, hello! And that's Hanako! I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. ... Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. ... Shiznei stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She came by in the morning, though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shiznei, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What's she trying to do? Of course, Shiznei isn't going to look away, and she's intimidated enough as it is, so I only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shiznei's normal behaviour. This is what happens when two people of different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? ... My god. If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on her festival project, but who knows where that woman's loitering at. Wow. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah. I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on her guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on my guard myself. I wonder why. Right, next! Oh, well, this is different. Okay. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? Just at the library. I was reading. So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a thorough research then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class, like Shiznei said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Ah, 'cause she's so delicate. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that. My god. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle, either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more, both of us content that the discussion's reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without as much as a second glaze, but Hanako takes up a position to my side again as we enter the building. Her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as mediator, I doubt Hanako would even have been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strange silence, while I rue her inability to socialise at all. At this point, this is going to be the longest video on my goddamn channel. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from the halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first and then to me for backup, I wonder? What if that's true? At least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reach the door to Class 3-2, with Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me. I open the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. ... There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her, she stands at the front of the class. She seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organising them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for the lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. And you know what? I actually think I can end this episode here, because I think I know where I'm going. So, this is a 40-minute episode. This is probably the longest video on my channel. I'm genuinely not sure. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I know this is a long one and it must have been a bit of a pain to watch, but it's the sort of thing that I guess you can put this on in the background and just listen to. I'd be more than okay with anyone doing that, so I'm going to probably... Yeah, I think it's going to be 20-minute episodes from here on out, because I know that I can get onto a route from here. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, don't forget to leave a like down below. And I will see you in the next episode of whatever I make. Have a great day and a great life, and I will see you later.